Hey everyone, Mitch coming up with the Commander Score Studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, well, I'm playing a little bit of catch up, so you're gonna have to bear with me, please. Thank you for bearing with me. I've been out of town recently and wasn't able to, well, make episodes on some of the brand new exciting cards that were just revealed, and I actually wasn't able to, unfortunately, make it to MTG Vegas as well, which I believe is where they were revealed. So on today's episode, again, I'm playing catch up, and I'm going to be talking about some exciting new cards. Maybe you haven't seen them either. Let's jump into them. So first up, oh my goodness, this card is crazy. Both as a commander and in the 99, Ghalta is back. And Ghalta is angry. And Ghalta has a lot of friends. A 12/12 Elder Dinosaur Trample that costs 5 green, of course legendary, so again, can be your commander. When it enters the battlefield, put any number of creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. Okay, that's a thing now. This is a thing now. This is crazy. This is absurd. This is, well, a combo-tastic card, I am sure, as well. I mean, like, Karmic Guide to the nth degree. I mean, I guess Karmic Guide's out of the graveyard. This one's out of hand. Still, being able to just say, oh, this came into play, cool. Dump everything from my hand into play that is a creature for free. Yeah, that's worth 8 mana. And also on top of that, again, you get a 12/12 with Trample. So, of course, just at a base level, as a commander, yeah, in a mono green giant creature deck, yeah, have fun with that. Have fun with that. Also have fun with recasting this by, Temur Sabertooth, bounce it back to your hand, recast it, do it again for other big creatures. A lot of crazy things can happen. After you get your hand refilled, do it again and again and again. Absolutely crazy. Or yeah, sacrifice this to greater good, draw an absurd amount of cards, then do it again from your command zone. Again, you're in green, you got plenty of ways to ramp. And of course, keep in mind that, hey, again, this is an enter the battlefield trigger. For some reason, again, Wizards has been a bit more, hesitant with certain things, like ETBs they've been doing. Some a bit too much, some, not enough, like this one, potentially. Hey, having a cast requirement on it, like, hey, if it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, then sure, do that. Maybe the reason they didn't do that is because they probably didn't like to say, like, cast. They usually like to say cast from your hand instead of just cast it in the command zone. Anyways, they didn't do that. So yeah, this is very easily usable and abusable. Not so much in green. Okay, there aren't too many ways to blink this in green. Like there's like that one regeneration card, like where you like it hits the graveyard and it comes right back, kind of like a feigned death type of card. Like there's like one of those. Okay, reincarnation I think is the card. Other than like that, there's not really like a Voyager Staff, like certain blink effects that are in colors. Yeah, you could use those. Mostly though, you're going to be like bouncing back to your hand, recasting it, or sacrificing it, recast with command zone to take advantage of that. That being said, again, yeah, if this is in the 99 of a deck, good luck if you're the opponent, and they can really easily use and abuse this again with either blink effects or like a reanimation effect. Yeah, just like zombify this, comes back into play, all of a sudden, yeah, it hits the battlefield, and then you say, oh, I got all these giant creatures in my hand, cool, put them into play as well. Yeah, this is a huge card that, again, I think has a lot of potential, and of course, yeah, as a commander, but even more so in the 99 of certain decks out there. Again, definitely a giant reanimation target, definitely a giant cheat to play target, definitely a giant blink target for you. A crazy, crazy cool and crazy new card. Next up, one that can also take advantage of big creatures, but in a different way, the Skullspore Nexus. Legendary artifact for 6 green. It's going to cost X less to cast for X, the greatest power among creatures you control. On top of that, whenever one or more non-token creatures you control die, create a green fungus dinosaur creature token with base power toughness, each equal to the total power of those creatures. And also by paying 2 and tapping, double target creature's power until end of turn. Okay. Gonna be honest, when I saw this card, I was like, oh no, not the Great Henge again. This is not the Great Henge. It's still a very, very, very good card. And I absolutely love the design of this. So basically, hey, get this out, get big creatures out first, get this out, and then all of a sudden, whenever your big creatures die, or like any creatures die, one or more non-token, keep that in mind, is non-token, so it couldn't just trigger it itself, which makes sense. Hey, yeah, make a fungus dinosaur with base power toughness. And again, it's kind of interesting because, like, if you have a massive amount of creatures die, you get one giant one. So if, like, someone board wipes, you get one giant one equal to the total power and toughness of those creatures, or sorry, power of those creatures. And then also on top of that, hey, pay 2 and tap double target creatures power until end of turn. That is pretty huge. This actually can be pretty funny because just with like a base scenario, let's say that you've got like 20 power with the creatures in play, and then all of a sudden, yeah, someone board wipes, like maybe the player before you, and then they board wipe, and then all your creatures die, and everyone's creatures die. Everyone's board's clear. Okay, let's just say that. Okay, no creatures in play. You get a 20/20 dinosaur. Cool. And then you're like, hey, that wasn't very nice cleaning my board. I'll go to combat. I'll double this creature's power. I'll hit you for 40. You're gone. So in a way, this is kind of, and it's not really board wipe protection, but like kind of is a board wipe punching effect in a way. But also just, yeah, a great replacement effect for when creatures die. This can work well in aristocrat-style decks out there. The right ones, I should say. It's still quite expensive to get out and play, but if you've got, you know, a creature that maybe like your commander has a decent amount of power, that could really help you as well. But yeah, I mean, being able to just say, hey, replace creatures every single time they die, that's great. And then also potentially some pretty big ones. And then also, yeah, that doubling is fantastic. If this were to be a budget card, which I have no idea if it's going to be, I highly doubt it. Yeah, my Mr. Orfeo Hotline Fling deck could absolutely love this card. So there's a lot of cool aspects to this card. I like the design of it again. Was super worried they're gonna be like another great henge because of, you know, the X less to cast and all that stuff. But it's a really cool design, a very fun one, and one I think can work for a decent amount of decks out there. Moving on to a very different card and a very different commander, though, with, I'm going to say, Ojer. My apologies. Ojer. Is it Ojer? I don't know. Ojer. Axonil. Deepest Might. A 4/4 legendary creature god with trample. It costs 2 red. If a red source you control deal amount of non-combat damage less than... I think I was, like, slipping out because I was worried about actually saying this name again. Ojer. Let's just say Ojer, okay? Power to an opponent. That source deals damage equal to Ojer's power instead. When Ojer dies, return to the battlefield tapped and transformed under its owner's control. Let's go through this first part first, then talk about the backside. Yeah, hey, all you need to do is suit this commander up with a good amount of equipment, potentially, you know, like Blackblade Forge, get its power up quite a bit, and then all of a sudden, all of your little, like, red source non-combat damage things just do an absurd amount of damage. I mean, just think about, like, Gutter Snipe, Fiery Inscription, Lightning Bolt, those types of cards. I mean, Lightning Bolt's nice, but, like, especially, like, Fiery Inscription, like, Gutter Snipe type effects, absurd. Like, all of a sudden... Those red sources, again, which would normally deal like 2 with a gutter snipe, like, hey, you cast it in sorcery, you deal 2 damage to each opponent. Lovely. Now all of a sudden, let's say Ojer, even with the power being 4, right? Okay, what it is at the base, that's like doubling up that damage. Now if you just, you know, again, Blackblade Forge, +5/+5, let's say, +6/6, whatever it is, 10 damage every single time you cast it in sorcery, absolutely crazy. Just saying having those sources deal that amount of damage instead is just crazy, and there's a lot of potential, a lot of crazy things you can do with this. But when this does happen, okay, when your commander does die, it was back, tapped and transformed out of control. And yeah, it's going to turn into a land. So you can kind of get around commander attacks with this because, well, yeah, you can transform it again. So basically, you kind of ramp with your commander. That's nice. Tap for a red, pay 2 in a red, tap, transform it, activate with red source you control, deal 4 or more non-combat damage this turn. It only is a sorcery. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you have a deck built around this, you probably have ways to do that, obviously, so you can make it so that this can flip again and flip right back to the commander. So this can be quite hard to deal with. And yeah, again, the potential for this commander is quite high, being able to just burninate your opponents to the ground quite quickly with a lot of non-combat sources of damage. So yeah, I think this card is pretty cool. It's got potential, of course, in, well, burn decks like an Immodane deck, and also just on its own is a really, really cool effect. Yeah, Ojer, I'm so sorry, I'm messing up your name, but a really cool design. Next up, we've got Huatli, Poet of Unity, a 2/3 human warrior bard for 2 in a green. Enters the battlefield, go get a base land in your hand, then shuffle. So some nice, well, again, it isn't land ramp, but it is kind of setting yourself up for your next land drop. Pay 3 Boros, then return her, exile, return to the battlefield, transform to control, activate as a sorcery, flips over into a saga. The first of which is create 2 3/3 dinosaurs. That's nice. The second of which is Roar the 5th people gains. Creatures you control have tap, add red, green, or white. So kind of like a Cryptolith Rite-ish, but temporarily. Obviously, it's on a saga. The third one is search library for a dinosaur card revealed in your hand, then shuffle. So yeah, dinosaur tribal could definitely be a thing with this commander. And then the fourth one, yeah, dinosaur tribal. Dinosaurs you control gain double strike and trample on a turn. Basically, a great finisher for you. So you set yourself up. You know, get some dinosaurs out there. You know, get some mana for some more dinosaurs. Get the dinosaur in your hand, get the right dinosaur in play, and then all of a sudden swing out with your giant dinosaur army. A very interesting dinosaur tribal commander. We'll see how this one kind of performs compared to other ones. Definitely good in a dinosaur tribal deck just as it is, but yeah, a very interesting card, an interesting commander. One that is pretty specific in what it wants to do, and pretty specific for being in dinosaur tribal decks as well. Moving on, we've got Kellan, Daring Traveler, a 2/3 human fairy scout for 1 and a white. Journey on. We've got a sorcery adventure for this for just a single green mana. Create X map tokens where X is 1 plus the number of opponents who control an artifact. So this could be between 1 and 4, obviously. And yeah, we don't exactly know what map tokens are yet, I don't believe. Let me know in the comments below if I'm wrong on that. I don't believe I've seen any map tokens revealed yet. My guess, and this is just a guess, it is going to be an artifact token that has paid probably 2, maybe 3. Sacrifice, go get a basic land card from your hand, from your library, put it in your hand. That is my guess for that. We'll see if that ends up being that. It just seems like kind of what a map would do, and kind of, again, with these artifact tokens being, you know, we'll see. Anyways, when Kellan, Daring Adventure, attacks, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, mana value 3 or less, put it in your hand. Otherwise, you may put it in your graveyard. So, yeah, I mean, swinging with a 2/3 is probably, you need ways to protect, or ways to pump, essentially, to ensure that you're not just going to keep losing your commander, or ways to get through. But yeah, if you have some small creatures, get a creature card with mana value 3 or less, get in your hand, otherwise graveyard. Yeah, I mean, some nice additional card selection out there. I mean, card advantage too, technically, depending on if you hit a creature. You hit a small creature, cool, it's in your hand, great, card advantage. If you don't, you can get rid of it by putting it in your graveyard, which is nice. So you can actually, you know, get that card selection going as well. An interesting commander, and one that's not all that powerful, depending on what, you know, map tokens are. We shall see what they are. I mean, I guess that could definitely change, you know, your thoughts on this commander. If it's just, hey, go get lands, yeah, you might go landfall with this, you know, with some maybe low to the ground creatures like, you know, wood elves and such that you can get off the top, get them into play. Yeah, an interesting commander. Again, I think really it just kind of, it just hinges on how effective those map tokens, what are they going to be. We shall see. And then finally, we've got Breeches, Eager, Pillager. That's right, Breeches is back. A 3/3 Goblin Pirate with first strike for 2 and a red. Whenever a pirate you control attacks, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn, create a treasure token. Target creature can't block this turn. Exile the top card of your library, play this turn. Basically, you have, well, the ability to get all 3 of these. Now, just once each time, though. You can't just get all 3, or, you know, or not all 3. You can't just keep getting treasure token again and again and again. As much as you might want to just get all the, you know, pirates in play and get all the treasure tokens, you can only pick that one once. Again, hasn't been chosen this turn. That being said, if you do have, you know, a pirate tribal deck built around this, and you are swinging with 3 pirates every single time you can, including this one, which does have first strike, so it can be protected in combat, cool. You get a treasure token, you can make it so a creature can't block, which again can help you get your pirate through. On top of that, you get some nice impulse draw as well. An interesting pirate, you know, tribal commander, one that of course goes well in pirate decks, obviously, as well. But yeah, pirate tribal, there you go. Overall, some really interesting cards and concepts from, well, the new exciting set coming out, Lost Caverns of Ixalan. This one doesn't come out for a little while. I'm not sure exactly when spoiler season starts. Make sure you're staying tuned to this channel for even more exciting quick takes and spoilers when they get going. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.